Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name's Craig, and I'm here to do a cooking show. I'm going to be preparing a stuffed pork tenderloin. But before we do that, we got to start with something else, and that is, just like Hopper would say in Stranger Things, coffee and contemplation. So before we do any cooking, we got to make coffee and contemplation. So let's get our blonde espresso going here. We're going to grab some oat milk, some espresso type deals. That's there, that's there. We got to clean out the little cup here, so we'll do that. Wash that off. Hope everybody's doing well today. It's a beautiful day here in Calgary. It's not too cold, and it's a good day for cooking. So I decided to set up my little studio and get that going. But as we mentioned, you got to have some coffee before you start everything. So this is, if you've ever been to Starbucks, they have a blonde espresso. It's called a cortado. So it's blonde espresso mixed with brown sugar and this barista oat milk. I think this is the actual stuff that they actually use, which is kind of cool. So we will get our blonde espresso into here. You might, I don't know if you'd call this a hopper, but I haven't watched the final season of Stranger Things, but I plan on watching it soon. I'm going to watch one episode a week, like the old days when you had to wait for another episode to come out instead of binging them all in a 5-hour period. There's just no anticipation. It's not exciting, and it's just difficult. All right, so we got our blonde espresso. It's already ground here. Although it looks kind of coarse. I don't know if hopefully this isn't a problem for the machine to deal with. Okay, and we will grab our 176 Keys mug. There we go, so like that. And we'll just push that down. Oh, that is pretty, that could be interesting. Let's see what happens here. Coffee and contemplation. That's what's going on. Ugh. You know what? I think we're going to have to remove some of this. Hold on. We'll try that now. Let's see if that works. I don't know if you can regrind. You can refry beans, but I don't know if you can regrind them. That might be a bad idea. Where is our brown sugar here? Put some brown sugar in the bottom of the mug. Coffee and contemplation. So this is a kind of a way to make your own cortado at home without spending the $5 on the Starbucks one. Not that I don't like Starbucks, but this is just a little bit more economical when you can make them yourself. All right, so we got our mug with brown sugar in here. We're going to tell the Breville machine to do its thing. And we've also got our milk frother here, so we got to shake this up. Shake it up. Ooh, ooh, shake it up. Coffee is almost ready. So we'll get this going. Just been underneath the max level, and we will hit the start button, and away we go. We'll have to see if this rough grind is as good as the fine grind. I don't know if I might have to change that up, but we'll see. Any of you coffee aficionados out there, maybe you know a little more about coarse grind versus fine grind, what the benefits are. Or I'm not the biggest coffee authority in the world, but anyway, I know what I like, so put that away. Coffee and contemplation. Seems all right. There we go. We have our oat milk froth. We put it in. See how that tastes. That's actually pretty good. I think the coarse grind might just work for us for that. All right, we will get back to our food prep and assembly here. We're going to get everything ready for our cooking show, and then we're going to put it all together. It's going to be fun. Let's bring the coffee over here to our workstation and go to our other angle. All right, we are here, and we also have another angle that we're going to be taking a look at for all of our assembly here. So let's take a look at all of our ingredients first. We have 2 pork tenderloins. Why can't you see what I just did? Okay, well, I have stuff on the cutting boards, but you can't see them for some reason. That's really weird. All right, my apologies. Hang on a second here. Maybe the app needs an update. I don't know. Hang on a second here. Good gravy. You know, I remember in the old days in the 90s, you could actually, yeah, this feels weird. I don't like this. I wonder if this is like super choppy and you're not enjoying it at all. We might stop this and start over again. We'll see. All right, we have let's try that. Okay, now we can see what we're doing. My apologies, everybody. We have 2 pork tenderloins here, and we're going to be assembling this. We're going to cut these open, put them inside. They're quite large. We need to make them because they're getting close to the, hey, how about you cook me date. We're going to be using some cream cheese. Philadelphia cream cheese is going to go inside of that. We're also going to be putting a little bit of, we're going to put some Parmesan cheese inside. We're also going to grind up some marble cheddar here. That's another thing we're going to do. So that's going to go inside. And we are also going to make some caramelized onions. So we got a red onion that we got to take care of. We're going to cut that up and we're going to cook that in some butter and some balsamic vinegar. So the balsamic vinegar and butter will cut the red onion. It's going to smell incredible. I wish you could smell things over live streaming, but you really can't. We also are going to put some bacon inside there. So, and also inside we're going to put some baby spinach. So have fun watching me put this all together. Hopefully our iPhone camera stays online and doesn't go AWOL again. But first thing we're going to do is I think we're going to cook the onion first. So we're going to get that cut up. Move all the stuff out of the way. If you're just joining us, we are preparing a stuffed pork tenderloin. So we're just talking about my process, how that works, and also coffee and contemplation, just like Hopper from Stranger Things. Okay, that's really good. Well, we need a knife. Let's go ahead and get that going. Now we got a lot of crusty sort of red stuff on the outside, so we'll get rid of a bit of that. I'll just trim off the outsides a bit. That's good. Peel some of this off here. I don't know if that's gonna work. I haven't done this in a while, so this is going to be interesting. There's different camera angles, and there's different noises in the house. The dog's wandering around behind me. There might be people coming in and out. We also need to get some, I'm going to grab a bowl here just to put all this in. There we go. Just going to put this onion bits in the bowl once we're done. I don't mind some of the skin parts, but I don't want all of them. Hey, that's mine. The dog is being weird. She wants some of the food, so. We're using Switcher Studio software on iOS. It allows me to have multiple camera angles with different iOS devices, so it's kind of cool. You can wirelessly stream different angles from different devices. I'm using an iPad Air from a couple years ago for the main controller, and I have an iPhone 14 Pro on top of everything here, so you can see what we're doing. So we'll probably also give this onion a bit of a wash as well. Let's just cut this thing in half for now and go from there. There we go. Let's see how some of this is peeling off a little bit. That's good. Once you get down to the skins that are kind of moist, that's better. You don't want the dry stuff on the outside. So. Hope you're having a good day. I just wanted to document this cooking process because it's fun to just share with people what I like to do. This is my dad used to make something like this, so I'm making this for my daughter. It's her birthday and Christmas present. I told her I would make two. I usually make one for her every year, and this time I'm making two because her birthday is so close to Christmas. So kind of a cool thing there. When you cook these onions with the balsamic vinegar and butter, it smells absolutely incredible. I actually kind of snack on the onion while it's because once it gets crispy, it's like candy. It's very, very good. I don't know if any of you might have seen back in the day when Phil Hartman was on Saturday Night Live. He had something called the Anal Retentive Chef, and he would be prepping a meal, but he would be cutting things, and then he wouldn't cut it quite right, and then he would want to throw it in the garbage. And he says, before you throw it in the garbage, you have to fold it up into the paper towel. It was just really funny, so it's just reminding me of that. I miss Phil Hartman. He was very, very funny. Okay, I'm just going to dump this into our food recycling thing. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So now we're just going to cut all these onions up here, and we're going to put the onions in here, and then we're going to get a fry pan, and we're going to melt some butter and get some balsamic vinegar going, and that'll be step one, is cooking the onions. So I'm going to chop this onion up a bit more. I'm not really fast at this, so don't expect like Japanese teppan or wok with yen type things. I'm going to go slow here because I don't want to hurt my fingers. So cut these guys in half again. Also want to make some beef bourguignon at some point, but that is a much bigger production, and we will not be tackling that today, but at some point we will do that. All right, so we're getting this down to a little bit more manageable. All right, this is the part where you tell sad stories and you start crying because cutting onions makes you cry, and oh, I can feel that right now. Ugh. If anybody knows why that happens, I would love to know. I suppose if you wore like goggles, it would prevent it, but something's going on with the cutting of the onions that makes your eyes water, and I'm sure there's an explanation for it somewhere, but I have not looked it up. I just know that the sooner I get this stuff cut up, the sooner I get to smell the awesome caramelized onions, which is one of my favorite ingredients on a panago pizza. If you're making a panago pizza, what I like to do is use the white jalapeno sauce on the bottom, thin crust, and you get double pepperoni, sauteed mushrooms, caramelized onions, and you put the regular cheese on, but you also put feta cheese on. It's and then you dip that. Once that's done, you dip that in the jalapeno ranch sauce. It's awfully good. Anyway, try it out if you feel like it. If there's a panago in your area, I strongly recommend you try that. I also used to work at Domino's when I was younger, so I remember making my own pizzas, and I would make, I don't know if they do it anymore, but this is like 1992 we're talking about. They would sell wings. So with the wings, you would kind of dip the wings in barbecue sauce. And so I would make a pizza, but I would put barbecue sauce in the bottom. I said, forget the tomato sauce. You put barbecue sauce on the bottom, and then you would, I would put one layer of pepperoni on, then I'd put a layer of cheese, and then I'd put another layer of pepperoni on, and then you put mushrooms on it as well. And then once that was all done, you'd put like another round of pepperoni on top so that it gets all crispy. And then on top of that, once it comes out of the oven, you put fresh tomato slices on each slice, which is absolutely incredible. I really liked it. I'm going to put some of this over here so we can, I'll just rotate this so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Get all this into the bowl for now so I can chop the rest of the onions without too much headache. The onions will also probably shrink once we're done cooking them too, so I don't have to cut them like microscopically or anything. All right, how are we doing? We got 1/4 of the onion cut. We're going to keep on going here. What I'd like to do with this later is to do an actual time lapse of the pork cooking in the oven, but that would be a different video because we can't switch to time lapse mode here. But anyways. Not a cooking expert. I just like to document what I'm doing because I can look back at this and go, hey, remember when I made those cool pork tenderloins for my daughter's birthday and Christmas present? I have a video of it just for fun. Not that everybody needs to know about it, but I haven't done a cooking video in a while, so I thought I would share it with everybody. So we're going to keep cutting these things into smaller pieces. Get some underneath here. There's a dog. Come over here. Come. Oh, the dog is, here she is. She's like, can I have some of your pork tenderloin, Dad? I would like to have some, if you don't mind. Sorry, pork tenderloins are not for Shiba puppies. Maybe I'll give you something later. Anyway, just thought we would highlight our friendly neighborhood Shiba there. Okay, this is a bit convoluted here. If you're just tuning in, we are live streaming on Facebook and YouTube the prepping of a stuffed pork tenderloin. So our first step is going to be cooking the onions with some butter and some balsamic vinegar to caramelize them. That is our plan. We got a few more quarters of this to go, and then we can start cooking that. We're going to make as much of this as possible, so I don't think I needed to have 2 red onions. That might have been overkill, but I do have 1, so it's a big one. Trying to make sure there's no big pieces in here. Like I said before, they will shrink a bit while we're cooking them, so not a problem. All right, let's put these into the bowl now. All right, we are onions are good, but they're better when they're caramelized. Oh, time for some coffee and contemplation. Let's go back to the other angle for a second. So once we get the onions cut, I'll get a fry pan, and then we'll put the overhead camera on, and we can watch the fun of onions cooking. All right, coffee break over. Okay, we're back to onion cutting mode. Hope everybody's having a good day today. I was going to do this before the weekend, but things got a little too busy. I had 2 corporate gigs out of town, so didn't want to start something without finishing it in the same setting. So today we will have finished stuffed pork tenderloins. That is the goal. So that's exciting. Okay. Oh, got a lot of chaos here. $10:30. We've been streaming for about a half an hour. Curious how long the process takes, but we're going to stick it out until the end. At the very least, we will get them ready to cook and maybe put them in the fridge, but I would like to cook them today. So, all right, we can put these in the bowl now. It's weird how there's like red onions and green onions and how they have different textures and flavors. Whew, papa. All right, we got one more of these to go, and then we can start putting our first stage to bed here. Quick coffees. see if we can get a split view going here. Ah, there we go. Yeah, this software is pretty cool. You can have picture in picture. You can have 3, 4, 5, 6 camera angles going at the same time. So one more of these and then we can get down to business. Let's cut these first. Yes, I can feel the burn. It's a little easier when you don't cut everything right away. All right, what's next here? We're oh so close to being into cooking mode. That's where the fun begins. All right, that is almost done. We got just these guys here. I'm so excited. The anticipation is killing me. Yay! Butter and balsamic vinegar. It's gonna smell. Wouldn't it be cool if you could smell it? Like when you're live streaming, the smells would like be transmitted to you. I don't know if that's possible, but who knows? Prep work is always the tedious part of the process, so I'm trying to be interesting while I'm doing this, telling jokes or stories or something. It's I'm always self-conscious about what am I going to say? Why am I going to say it? Is anyone going to care? And the bigger question is, why does it matter? Just be yourself. All right, the red onion is almost ready for cooking here. We may have to hook a power up to the phone here if the battery is low, but thankfully we haven't had any more problems with our streaming technology. Maybe before we cook the onions, I'm just going to double check the plan for caramelizing them just to make sure I'm doing it right. Sometimes I think I'm doing things right, and in my head I'm like, oh, that was actually not what I wanted to do. So if I'm not mistaken, butter and caramelized onions is the plan, but we're going to just we'll do a search on the MacBook together. I can share my screen with you and we can do just a simple search for how to caramelize onions. Make sure we're doing that right. Okay. Just going to wash this off. Okay, let's have a look at the recipe for how to caramelize onions and see how that goes. We won't need this cutting board until later because we're going to need to cut the pork tenderloin. We're going to have to butterfly cut it so we can put all the stuff inside of it. It's going to be kind of like when you go to Subway and they take the bun and they split it up the middle. Actually, back in the old day, for those of you old enough to remember, they used to cut a strip in the middle of the bun and then they'd put the food inside and then they put the bun sliver over top. Anyway, probably just dating myself here, but that's what they used to do it in the old days. Actually, a fun story, when I was younger, in my teen years, I used to do some work for the radio station in Medicine Hat. So, not that they were cheapskates, but sometimes they would pay me with Subway cards. So instead of being paid money, I would get like a card and I could take it to Subway and get free food with it. So that was interesting. I'm just going to grab my laptop here. Hang on. Let's see what's going on with caramelized onions recipe. Let's see what it has to say. How to caramelize onions, all recipes. All right, we're at all recipes, and it says, caramelized onions add mouth-watering flavor to almost any dish. From quiches to pizza to burgers, grilled cheese sandwiches is one ingredient that will take your cooking up a new level. We'll show you step by step how easy it is to make mouth-watering caramelized onions on your stovetop. All right, do you use oil or butter to caramelize onions? You can use oil or butter to caramelize onions, but ideally use a combination of both. I like to use olive oil, and this cooking fat tolerates heat particularly well. Do you caramelize onions on low or high heat? Well, you can start the cooking process medium heat. Low and slow is the name of the game. All right, so we don't want to go too fast here. Once your onions begin to soften and take on a golden hue, you want to reduce the heat from medium to medium-low or even low for the remainder of the cooking process. The sugars in the onions require time and gentle heat to caramelize. Cooking over high heat will take you straight to burnt. Yeah, we do not want that. All right, red onions. I'm going to use balsamic vinegar, I'm going to use salted butter and balsamic vinegar. That's what I plan on using. So, all right, let's put this away and we'll get ourselves a frying pan. Where's our frying pan system here? Let me guess. Do I have to wash something? I hope not. No, here we go. Okay. We have, this burner's weird. It's got like fast boil, an outer, and then another outer. So we're just going to use the double one. But like the recipe said, we're not going to go crazy with heat. We want to do this gently and I don't know why this is so choppy. I'm sorry, everybody. I hope it's, not sure why our Wi-Fi is not so great, but anyways. So we're going to just put some butter in the fry pan here now, and I'm just going to move my angle out of the way. Okay, so first things first, let's get some butter going. We're also going to need some kind of spatula or something. I do not have this prepped as well as I would have liked, but anyways. Okay, there's some butter there. We'll add some more of that later. Let's turn the heat on. This is for, okay, we want the double. We'll put that on about 6 for now. For those of you just tuning in, we are doing a live stream of preparation of a stuffed pork tenderloin. So maybe while we're cooking the onions, we can put we're going to put the bacon in the microwave. I'm going to try that because I'm good at doing bacon in the microwave and I know I won't accidentally burn it. So actually I'm going to get plate for that right now. We're going to open up the bacon here and get that going. You can see there we have some regular, non-low salt, natural bacon. If you have issues with salt and sodium, this is maybe not the best meal for you, but it sure tastes incredible. Okay, and we've got our cheese grater here. All right, I'm gonna get myself a little spatula type deal. Wash this off. Don't want to taste the taco meat that's on this spatula with our new cooking stuff we're doing here. Okay. You can see our butter is now melting, so that's exciting. We're going to now take the onions and put them in here. And I think what we'll do is we'll cook the onions in butter for a while first, and then we'll add the balsamic vinegar later. But last time I did this, the onions got a little too dark because I think I had the heat too high. So we want to make sure that the heat is not high this time around. So let's go ahead and get the onions into here. There's a lot of them. We may have to add more butter to this later as well. Whew. Yeah, it's definitely lots of onions. Put that bowl over here. Turn the heat up a little bit, and we might need to add some more butter to this, but we want to go low and slow on this. Don't want to go too fast because, like I said, the last time they were a little too crispy. They weren't burnt, but they were very dark and crunchy. So, coffee break. All right, I just changed the camera angles there. For those of you wondering how I'm doing that, I have a mouse hooked up to my iPad and I can change camera angles on the fly. So I'm just using this to do that. It's pretty cool. All right, we can hear things are happening now. There's a lot of onions in this pot, so we're going to take our time, make sure there's lots of butter in here, that things aren't sticking. And yeah, let's just, there's no race here. We're in no hurry. I'm going to add a little bit more butter because I'm having some concerns about the butter to onion ratio. It's kind of like Seinfeld with his cereal to milk ratio. You want to make sure it's exact, otherwise there's problems. Okay, that should be good, I think. Don't think we'll need any more butter than that. That's probably enough. Oh, this is wonderful. So the caramelized onions are going to go inside of the pork tenderloin, as is the bacon, everything, the cheese. We have different types of cheese. We're going to open up the pork tenderloin, and we're going to put cream cheese inside of it. But we have to butterfly cut it so that it's flat, because we're going to roll it all up together like a burrito. So you have to be careful how you cut the pork tenderloin so it's thin enough to roll, but not too thick that you can't. It's a tricky thing, so we'll take our time with that as well. Definitely going to have enough caramelized onions here for what we're doing. Okay, that butter is pretty much fully melted here. Let's turn the heat down just a bit. We don't want to get too crazy. Okay, the recipe said, the onion go in my coffee? That's funny. Onion coffee. We're just going to put a little bit of balsamic vinegar here. I always tend to want to overdo it, but it's got the thing that prevents it from flying out really fast, so that's probably enough. Okay, yeah, you can smell the balsamic vinegar now. It's lovely. All right, we have balsamic vinegar with butter and red onion. That's what's going on right now. They said a little bit of salt too, so. Oh yeah, that's starting to smell really good now. Wow. Okay, we're gonna let that sit for a bit, and we're gonna start working on this bacon business, because might as well multitask if you can, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's about, I don't know, 15 strips of bacon in here. So we have our lovely cooking scissors. We're going to take that and just get this up and running. The dog's having a fit right now. She's like, I'll have some, I'll have some. Excuse me. Okay, now we're gonna need some paper towel. I like doing it in the microwave, but you put like 3 sheets down, 4 maybe. And then it soaks up all the bacon fat while you're cooking, so. I'll remove my camera angle here again. All right, so we have our paper towel here, and then we want to take a couple strips. Yeah, let's get this whole thing. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Love it. Okay, we've got our bacon strips here. We're gonna we'll go for 5 maybe. See how that works. Do 5 now, and then another 5 once these ones are done. Again, we don't want to be too crispy, crunchy with these things. We want to make sure they're nicely cooked, but not super crunch. I like crispy bacon, but I don't want it for this, because the bacon's also going to be cooking inside of the tenderloin while we're while we're cooking the whole thing. All right, so we've got 5 strips of bacon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about enough we can fit on that plate. We're also going to put some more paper towel on top just to take care of any excess fat that comes out the top. So the goal is to get the bacon cooked in the microwave, but not enough that it's so crispy and it sticks to the paper towel. Let's get this moving around a little bit here. Okay, we're going to lower the heat here. It's a little too high. We don't want this to get too dark, but we also want to use the slowness to get the sugars out of the onion combined with the butter and the balsamic vinegar, as well as that little bit of salt. So we do not want to see this get too dark. So we'll turn it down to even lower. We're in no hurry here. All right, bacon's going in the microwave, and I'm just going to move the camera for a second because I have to open the... All right. So with our microwave settings here, we're going to select let's do a minute a slice, but we'll lower the power level to 7. Let's see how that works. Hopefully that's not too much, but I do have more in case that's a problem. So. All right, checking in on our onions now. Oh, that smells so good. Amazing. Well, this is really fun. Great way to start a Monday cooking class. I like cooking, but I don't do it very often, so it's you have to, like, if you're going to make something nice like this, you have to budget about, including cooking time, probably 5 to 6 hours. All right. It's time for another coffee break. We are making stuffed pork tenderloin today at the Learmont House, and we have caramelized onions in process with red onion, butter, and balsamic vinegar, a little bit of salt, and we have bacon cooking in the microwave. We have some spinach, baby spinach, and we have some cheddar marble cheese. We have some Parmesan cheese and cream cheese, and we have 2 pork tenderloins that we're going to be preparing. So we're going to be, once we've got all the prep work done, we're going to cut the tenderloins open and start putting all the stuff inside of it. So we're cooking bacon, we're cooking onions, we've got multiple kinds of cheeses and spinach that's all going to go inside. But there's a special surprise at the end, and I don't want to tell you what it is right now, but we're going to wait till later. It'd be like the Apple one more thing. So I hope the anticipation is as exciting for you as it is for me. Well, you can hear the bacon popping a bit. That's good news. I'm just going to grab something out of the other cupboard here. In case you didn't see before, when I was making my cortado, this is the blonde espresso that we're using, and this is also the Earth's Own barista oat milk. So if you want to make a cortado, these are the 2 things that you need, and I really like mine. You just add brown sugar, a little bit of brown sugar to the bottom, and you're in business. The a cortado only comes in tall, and it's like $5 or something. So you can, if you do the math, you buy this oat milk and you buy this bag. This bag's like, I think, $20, but this will make, it'll probably make a good like 20 of cortados if you're conservative. So you could save a lot of money making your own cortados at home. All right, let's check in on our onions here and see what's going on. We're still at low heat. Yeah, that's good. They're browning. It's ever so slowly, but that's good. I want it to go slow. I can hear the onion or the bacon popping, so we're going to check that in a second. Hopefully we have not gone overboard with that. I want the bacon slightly crispy, but not like. I'm just going to stop the bacon right now because I want to take a kind of look at this. Okay, so you can see there is fat being absorbed, but it's not nearly cooked the way I want it. So we're going to start that over. Let's do 3 minutes at power level 7 this time and see how that works. Whew. We've been streaming for almost an hour now, so it's 57 minutes. Well, what else can we do while we're waiting? Let me wash this bowl here. Yeah, I don't know why that camera angle is so, you know, it might be because there's other software running. That's probably why. If you have too many things running on your iPad, it's difficult for the iPad to process all of the, see how it's like, it's jumping in both frames. So that tells me that there's a lot of network activity that's interfering with this software. So my apologies, maybe well, I don't want to stop right now, I'll just keep going. But anyways, iPads are amazing, but when you ask them to do too many things, they're like, can't do it. And I am asking it to do a lot right now, so. We will be doing another one of these with my dad's beef bourguignon recipe. That's an enormous task. It involves potatoes, onions, or scallions, cooking sherry, stewed beef, flour, butter. It's a lot. Egg noodles. It's like an all-day thing. All right, 5 strips of bacon. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. How are we? Still not quite where I want it to be. Let's do another 2 minutes. While we're waiting for that, we're going to we'll shred some cheese here. I'm just going to. We've got a shredding device. I deleted all the apps off my phone, but my iPad is still, I think, running. I'm not sure. I was gonna buy bagged of shredded cheese, but the shredded cheese bags are like pretty expensive, so just make it yourself. Probably gonna need some more. I'm just gonna peel back the bag a bit here. The dog is like, I want some of the cheese. Please give me the cheese. I might give her a little bit just to see. Once our bacon's done, we're gonna need to cut it into small pieces because it needs to live inside of the pork tenderloin. Okay, that's probably enough. I don't really have a recipe per se. I just know what's worked before and I've just remembered it in my head. But if any of you are interested, I could write it down for you. Again, I don't do a lot of cooking, but I do like making this because it tastes incredible and it's fun to make. It's just a process. It takes time. All right, before we check on the bacon, let's have a look at our onions here and see how we're doing. I'll bump the heat up just a little bit. Oh, wow. I could just smell that all day. There should be a perfume or a cologne that smells like caramelized onions. Unless you're allergic to onions, then that would be a problem. Weird things in my head, like Kramer's cologne that smells like the beach. For those of you who have not watched Seinfeld, go watch the episode with Kramer and the cologne that smells like the beach. Okay, this is perfect. This is awesome. Ouch, that's hot. Okay, check it out, everybody. Boom, that's perfect. Notice how much they shrunk. They actually shrink quite a bit because all the fat leaks out. So, all right, so that was good news. We did 5 minutes at power level 7. Then we did another 3 minutes at power level 7. Then we did 2 minutes at level 8. So that's the perfect amount of crisp. They're not petrified, but they are, they're cuttable, but they're not like rock hard or anything. I like crispy bacon, but we don't have to be that crispy for this purpose. Excellent. Our multitasking is doing well. Let's do that again. We're going to do another five of those. Ouch, that's hot. Making good progress here in Craig's kitchen. We got caramelized onions on the go. We just shredded some cheese. We're going to do another round of bacon. And so we need some more paper towel. Put this over here so you can see what's going on. Ouch, that's still hot. Yikes. Okay, puppy dog. Here, would you like some cheese? Here. Over here. Oh, hold on a second. Shake paw. Good girl. Up. Yes. She's fun. All right, caramelized onions, shredded cheese. We've got some crispy bacon. Let's check the onions and see how we're doing here. Yeah, we're gonna keep going. I want to get them just on the brink of crisp, not too black, but like, you know, I think another few minutes like that and we'll be okay. I also want to remember we're going to be cooking, everything that we've cooked is going to cook again inside of the tenderloin when we put it in the oven. Okay, let's use a different plate. That one's just a little hot. That up there, put this here. We're going to do our paper towel trick again. This is going well. I'm very happy with our progress so far. You can hear the bacon hissing at me. What did I do to you? Nothing. We've got 1, 2, 3. There's 6 slices here, so we might have to do another 2 later. Might as well cook all of this because you might need more than you think you need. Whatever. Excuse me, I'm coughing a lot this morning. 1 strip of bacon. 2. 3. 4 and 5. Okay, even though I could do the microwave the same amount of time in one blow, I'm going to do exactly what I just did because I know that worked really well. I do not want to burn the bacon. I want to, you know, want it to be exactly like the other 5 strips I did. Okay, we are now at stage 2 with the bacon, so we're going to get another 4 pieces of paper towel here. Oh, those onions smell incredible. Wow. If any of you are old enough, you might remember Walk with Jan. He had his own cooking show on CBC, which was very fun. My dad used to love watching him, and he had different sayings on his apron. It was pretty fun. Okay, bacon round 2. We did 5 minutes a slice. Power level 7. Go to town with that. Five strips of bacon, 10 strips of bacon. We have another 2 strips after that. We'll do those as well. And we will use, we'll use all of this stuff. These tenderloins are pretty big. Like, once we open this and unfold it, it's actually going to be quite large. So that is that's the good news. If you're just tuning in, we are live streaming some cooking with Craig. We are making a stuffed pork tenderloin, which involves bacon, onions, cheddar marble cheese, cream cheese, baby spinach, and obviously pork tenderloins. So we're just in the process of cooking the onions and cooking the rest of the bacon. Once that is all done, we will focus our attention to the tenderloins themselves. We will save the spinach will be kind of the last. We're just going to wash it and cut it a little bit. We just want to break it down into smaller pieces. You can put like cheese inside of the leaves and then wrap them inside or whatever. It's just all kind of amalgams together. Okay, these onions are starting to get a little bit dark now, so I think turning the heat up was a good idea. I don't want them too soggy, but I don't want them too crisp either. So I just want to wait until everything's kind of golden brown. We're still a little bit on the the white and pink side. I don't need them black, but I don't want them a little darker than where they're at right now. So let those sit for a bit. Time for another coffee break. Coffee and contemplation. Coffee and contemplation. Go watch Stranger Things, the first episode. It's amazing. I thought it'd be really cool. My friend Sheldon Dingwall makes bass guitars in Saskatchewan. He's a world-class luthier, and he made a special edition Hellboy bass. And I know you can go to these Comic-Cons and you can get things signed, but it'd be really cool to get the Hellboy bass from Dingwall, take it to the Comic-Con, and have David Hopper sign it because he was Hellboy. I think that'd be super cool. I'm not going to spend the money to do that, but if I was going to do something cool, I think that would be a great idea. So David Harbour signing a Hellboy bass, that'd be pretty cool. I have not seen the movie Hellboy, but apparently it's quite good. But anyways, I'm just talking out loud because I don't want to do nothing. Cheese is grated. Bacon is almost done. We got another minute and a half on that. We can put some of this stuff away. I don't think we need any more balsamic vinegar or butter. We do have put some Parmesan cheese in here. We're going to put some Parmesan cheese inside, just enough to make a difference. And then we've got our cheddar cheese here, cheddar and Parmesan cheese with the cream cheese, as well as the baby spinach leaves. So this will be fun here, putting the spinach inside of the pork tenderloin. This is how I've done it before. So we'll cut some of the stems off and eat those for snacks. Yeah, you can also take what's left over of this and make yourself a strawberry salad. Strawberries, blueberries, baby spinach, and shaved almonds with some like raspberry vinaigrette. Makes a really nice salad. All right, we're going to put the cheese away here so we're not too much stuff lying around. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to put this cream cheese inside of the pork tenderloin. So step one is going to be butterfly cutting the pork tenderloin so that it's laying flat, almost like a sheet of paper, best we can, without going right through it. And then we're going to everything's going to go inside of that. So we're going to put a bed of spinach leaves. We're going to put some cheese in there. And the cream cheese is kind of the glue that holds it all together. That's kind of how it works. All right, bacon check, round one. How are we doing? Okay, as I suspected, pretty much like the other one. We're going to do that again. I think it was 3 minutes we did. 3 minutes at power level 7. We'll do that one more time, and then we'll do the 2 minutes at power level 8, and it'll be just the right crispiness. Yeah, so the tricky part of this is cutting the tenderloin. We'll get to that in just a bit, but we're doing good so far. We've been streaming for 1 hour and 14 minutes. We're getting close to the end of the assembly. Opening up the pork tenderloin will be probably the most labor-intensive part of this. You want to do it in a way that the tenderloin can lay flat. Plus, we have a lot of tenderloin here, so we could maybe cut this into 4 different servings, possibly. I'm not sure how big the pork tenderloins are once we unpack those vacuum packs, but they do. I picked the bigger ones that there were. Okay, we're getting close on those onions. Nice and slow, not too fast. Last time I cooked those onions, folks, I cooked them in high heat, and they got really black and dark, and I don't want to do that this time. I want to take my time this time around. So. We could rinse the spinach right now, but I want to wait till all this other stuff is done first. I don't want to. If I start multitasking too much, stuff is going to burn, and it's going to be a problem, and I don't want that. So, hope you're enjoying the broadcast so far. I did want to do this yesterday, but I was tired from my gigs on the weekend, so I thought Monday morning will be a good time to tackle this because should have it in the oven probably before noon or 1 p.m. at the latest. But yeah, it's going good. It's weird cooking these onions for so long. I'm not used to the low heat thing. I'm tempted to turn the heat up, but I do not want to. Just let it sit and it's fine. The onions are achieving the texture that I wanted slowly but surely. So. Yeah, apologies for the choppiness, folks, if I'm hoping this broadcast is better than it looks like it is. All right, bacon round 2. Let's have a look and see how we're doing. Yeah, okay, cool. So now I'm going to do 2 minutes at level 8. That should be enough for that. 2 minutes, power level 8. There we go. I think we'll give the onions another like 5 minutes, and then we'll call that done. They're definitely cooked, but I want them a little bit crispier, so like you can eat them like potato chips, but not, like I said, black. The last time I did them, they were the high heat really kind of overcooked them. Not overcooked, but they're just, you don't want them absolutely crunchy, but just on the verge. It's like the bacon. I like bacon when it's just on the edge of crispy and not like rubbery, and I like eating bacon where it like crunches in your mouth every bite. If you have to chew on the bacon, it's not cooked enough for me. But you can see the texture of these bacon strips is perfect. It's not too dry, and it's not too black either. So this is how I like my bacon, like this. Time for some more coffee and contemplation. Oh man, that's good. I might have to make another one of those. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube this morning, making ourselves a pork tenderloin festival. We got a lot of pork tenderloin here. We got to cut it open and put all this cool stuff inside of it. So far we have prepped the cheddar cheese, marble cheese. We're working on some bacon, and we're also working on some caramelized onions, which is absolutely lovely. It smells so good. I'm just going to move the camera for a second. Yeah, again, that's perfect. So I'm going to use some gloves so I don't burn my hands. Hope you're enjoying our live stream broadcast. I hope it's not too choppy, like I said, but anyways. This plate is hot because it's been in here for like 10 minutes. All right, back to the bacon. Here we go. Let's see how we're doing with our bacon texture. Yeah, that's really good. I like that. This is, like I said, maybe a little bit less, but I want to do the same thing I did last time. All these bacon strips are exactly the way I wanted them, which is great. Okay. Yeah, and what's nice about this is the bacon is not sticking to the paper towel. That's a real win there. So just so you know, 4 narrow strips of paper towel on the bottom and like 4 on the top. You fold it in half. We cooked this bacon in the microwave. We're gonna do this one more time. It's got 2 more slices, but we won't obviously need as much time. We'll do 2 minutes instead of 5. So this bacon is exactly the way I want it to. When we cut this bacon into small pieces, it'll be easy to put inside of the tenderloin. So all kinds of awesome. I'm gonna use the gloves again. This is too hot. I don't want to burn my hands for no reason. Okay, 2 more slices of bacon, and then we're calling that done. One more time with the paper towel, even though there's only, well, let's do the same thing anyways. We got 2 slices here and 2 there, folded in half so that there's 2 kind of double ply there. Maybe you don't need as much paper towel, but as a creature of habit, let's just leave it the same. Alrighty. Paper towel on top again. If it works, leave it alone. All right, let's do 1 more of these things. We're going to take a look at this. I'm not going to do 5 minutes this time because I think that might be a problem. But it's good to do bacon in stages because that way you can check it and make sure it's not getting overdone at any time. Okay, these onions are starting to smell so good. Yeah, see how they're darker now? Just a little bit on the dark side, not too much. And they're sparkling when I move them around. There's a little bit of spitting going on. Okay, now that's pretty dark, but I want to give this another couple minutes at low, and then we're gonna call the onions. They're good. They've been cooking for a long time, but we've had the heat very low because we want to get all those sugars out of the red onion, and we're just about there. I can feel it. All right, bacon's done. We're going to do another 2 strips of bacon in the microwave. So that means that we did 5 minutes before for 5 slices. So let's do 2 minutes for 2 slices and see if that formula works. 2 minutes, power level 7. This will be my formula moving forward. If I ever make bacon in the microwave again, I'll know what to do, which is great. No, it's like candy. So good. I just need another bowl to put the caramelized onions in once they're done. We'll put them in this bowl here. We've got, this will work. Okay, so far so good. We've got caramelized onions just about wrapped up. Bacon's definitely done. The cheese is grated. We've got our cream cheese and we've got some Parmesan we're gonna throw in there, and then we just have to get the baby spinach leaves. So we're gonna be prepping a good, I don't know if we'll cut these pork tenderloins in half because they're so long, but we'll see. It's gonna be a lot of fun here. I'm excited. We've been streaming for 1 hour and 25 minutes, and things are going fairly good. I might have to check the power on my phone here. It might be getting low, but my iPad is hooked up so it won't die. If you're joining us, thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I'm just making some food. That's a birthday/Christmas present for my daughter. I promised her that I would make not 1, like I normally do, but 2 stuffed pork tenderloins. And so that's what we're up to today. coffee break. Yeah, I think I might have to make another one of those. That's really good. For whatever reason, I had the first bag grinded fine, and that bag was grinded more coarse. I think I like the coarse grind a little better. It's interesting the variables you have when like cooking, like your time, your heat, or how things are cut. Are they cut fine or... Let's have a look at this. Yeah, it's still kind of... So another 2 minutes at power level 7. We'll do what we did before. And next time maybe I'll just do 10 minutes with the bacon and see if that works. I kind of like to stop it in the middle just to check, so you don't want to burn it or cook it too much. And then it's like, oh, you've wrecked it. You wrecked it. I can fix it. All right, onions, how are you doing here? You know what? I'm going to call the onions. We're good here. Normally I would want them crispier, but we're going to leave these alone. I think it's better if we do that. Not everything needs to be like crispy. Maybe I'll just wait till this 2 minutes are up, and then we're going to cut the heat to the onions. Actually, you know what? We'll cut it right now because it's going to cook even though the pan is still hot. So, all right, making good progress. Bacon is almost completed. Cheese is ready. These caramelized onions are good to go. We're going to put these in this bowl for prep. And then we're going to we're going to have to start thinking about cutting these tenderloins now, which doesn't make me nervous, but I just want to do it. If you do it well, it's easy to put together. The other thing we're going to need is I might need to go get some twine. So I might, not sure how we're going to pull that off. You have to have twine to keep the tenderloin all together because you're going to roll it up, but you don't want it unfolding. So, how we doing, bacon? You know what? I'm going to call those two because that's yeah, we don't want to overdo this. Just the 2 slices is I want to be careful not to go overboard with that. So I think if I had to put that in at any hotter, it would just get black. So the math on the last 2 is a little bit different, but this will crisp up just sitting out here, I believe. So we don't need to overcook. And again, this is going to be cooking inside of the tenderloin as well. So these are pretty crispy. These ones are just slightly crispy and slightly rubbery yet, but that's okay. They're cooked enough to not cause a problem. Okay, bacon's done. Caramelized onions are done. We got a lot of stuff prepped here, so this is exciting. Let's get the onions, well, we'll let them sit for 1 more minute, and then we're going to put them in here. And then we will, we might maybe wash the spinach. I'm not sure. I'm just sort of thinking out loud about what the next step is. We've cooked the things that need to be cooked, except for the pork tenderloins themselves, and that's the good news. So a lot of the prep work is completed now. We've been broadcasting for 1 hour and 30 minutes, which is great. Hot plate out of there. Okay, let's get the onions out of here into this bowl. to our prepping bowl. So we have, everything's got its own place. Very happy with these onions. I actually like that I didn't crisp them up too much this time. I think it'll be better that way. There's flavor and then there's also texture. So if everything's cooked super crispy, then you don't get that savory sort of vibe. So that is one red onion cooked up there, just one. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. So there we go. We've got the caramelized onions in this bowl. I'll put this pan over here. Just get a hot plate for this or something. Let's put it on top of that. All right, let us now think about, yeah, that's hot, so we want to be careful not to put anything on there. We might prep the tenderloin cutting over off to the side maybe, or, well, we'll just move this over. All right, we're going to put this stuff out of the way for now, because now we're going to go into pork cutting mode, which is a little tricky. Where's another bowl for this bacon? Okay, I'm just going to put all the bacon in this bowl here, just so that we can use this for cutting our pork. This is what we're doing. We're going to break the bacon up into little pieces later, but that is fine. Okay, let's adjust the angle here. All right, this is where things get interesting. So I wonder if we might need a bigger cutting board. This is probably too small. Where is the big cutting board? I'm just going to wash this off because I think we should use the bigger one. Okay, folks, we're going to switch to a bigger cutting board because these pork tenderloins are pretty big. They're gonna overrun the system with the one I have right now. So yeah, here we go. This will be better. We're going to use this instead because it's a little bigger and it's got the ridges on the outside to catch any of the juice. We'll put this over here like so. All right, this is where things get tricky, so bear with me. We're going to cut open this thing and we're going to take a look at how big it is once we unfold it, because when you unfold these things, they tend to be bigger than you thought they were. So plus all the juices are going to come flying out of here. Okay. All right, this guy is folded up. Wait till you see this. It's huge. It's going to be a big deal. We're undergoing a very large transformation here. This pork tenderloin is actually a lot bigger than you think it is because look, woohoo! Oh, there's 2 of them in here. Cool. Okay, so we have 2 pork tenderloins in here, and we have 2 in there. So we're gonna make 4 stuffed pork tenderloins. That's kind of what I thought. So what to do here? This is where my brain starts to wonder. Step 1 is we want to cut some of this silver business off of here. It's not absolutely critical, but I like to do it anyways. There's not a lot of fat on this thing though, so we can probably leave it alone once this is off. I don't think we need to worry too much about that. I'm just going to get this guy off of here because I don't want, I want to focus on one thing at a time. So we'll put that over here. We're dealing with pork, so you want to make sure that it's cut properly and it's cooked properly for safety reasons. So you can check your temperature while it's cooking. How's this heat here? It's okay. I'm just going to change the camera angle for a second there. Be right with you. All right, we're back. I just moved the small picture-in-picture so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we need a sharp knife. We got to cut the silver stuff off of here, and let me get that going. I need a smaller knife, and we'll need to let's wash this off. For those of you just joining us, we are live streaming stuffed pork tenderloin assembly for my daughter's birthday / Christmas present. So I'm going to just gently cut some of these silver things off of here, just kind of what I do. You don't have to do this, but I like to do it anyway, just to I don't know if they call this silver skin, or I don't know what they call this, but it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like fat, but it's a little different. You want to cut it off, but you don't want to take off too much of the meat with it because it kind of defeats the purpose. So I want to be careful not to cut your fingers, so that can be tricky. Okay, feels better. Just going to roll this the other way here. A lot of patience here. I think that's probably good enough. I'm just going to toss this stuff here. Yeah, there's a lot of beef to deal with here, but it's going to be great. I'm excited. Can't wait to hear the feedback from Okay, we've got the pork tenderloin here, and we want to cut it in a way that it kind of folds out like a butterfly. So the butterfly cut is spread it out, and we're gonna do it again. We want to get this about this wide if we can from here. So you'll go right through, and we don't want that. Just this part always kind of makes me nervous because I don't want to cut all the way through it. So do that again. Like I said, you want to be careful not to go all the way through, but do this again on this side. It's tricky because you're trying to flatten out something that's round, and you don't want to. So you can see how gently cutting it kind of makes it a little wider like that. But again, you don't want it to be too thin, otherwise, see, there's a hole there already. So. Okay, that's probably good enough for now. So we've butterfly cut this pork tenderloin so that it's kind of flatter than the sauce that we've used with pork on them, because for safety reasons. Okay, so the next step is we want to put, oh, this thing looks like it's locked up here.